Hello YouTube, I am the Mac and welcome to another session of the TCG Enterprise where we talk about all of your favorite card games. So you guys, lo and behold, we're going to go in with our zombie deck as promised. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. We've got this awesome field center that ends up having one of the hand traps on it, which is beautiful. So let's go ahead and start off with the list. So starting off with our list, we are going to be going with two Doom King Balrog. The standby phase is there's a face-up field zone, and then this card is under the graveyard, gets special summoned into defense, and then use the only effects once per turn. Once per the chain with a zombie monster, except for Balrog, activates his effect, except during the damage step, which is a quick effect. You can apply one of the effects. You can negate the effect, or you can banish one monster onto the field or the graveyard, which is really good. You primarily don't want to end up running any less than 2. You don't want to run any more than 2. 2 is a pretty standard setup, especially as far as zombies go. They have a very good ratio with 3s and 2s. The 1-ofs are very, very seldom, considering the fact that they need to replenish themselves a lot, which is another reason why we are running 3 solitaire. Our 3 solitaire is really good. This gets out for our tuner, primarily for our Uni Zombie. Our Uni Zombie will basically be our combo setup play, so then that way we can go ahead and get for our synchro plays. So with that being said, we are going to be going, of course, with our 3 Uni Zombies themselves. These guys will come out, and then we can go ahead and set up out for our level 7s, or anything else that we want to go ahead and get out as far as that matter goes. So 3 Uni Zombie. I've seen some people run 2. It's not necessarily the best way to go ahead and run it, but I mean, whatever your preference is on towards it, you are welcome to go ahead and do so. Then we're going to be going with 3 Jacobolin. I might cut this down actually towards either 1 or 2, but it's still a good card nonetheless. Basically, you could discard out for a zombie monster, special summon this card from the hand, and then during your opponent's main phase, you could target 1 zombie in either the graveyard, and you special summon it with that monster, but you banish it as it leaves the field. Then you can banish 1 face-up card until the end phase. You can only use the effect of Jacobolin once per turn, but it's still good nonetheless. It's easily searchable. At the same time, it helps when Zombie World is all on towards the field. So that's always good to have. With the new support that is going to come out, I'll probably actually just drop this thing down to the 1 to go ahead and add the new support in. As far as you guys know about the new stuff that's coming in, I can go ahead and give you a link down below so you guys can go ahead and check out the new zombie support that's coming. More zombie support, we're going to be going with 3 Mizuki. Why? Because you could banish it and the special summon, which is really good. Some people just run 1, some people just run 2. Primarily, I'd like to go ahead and have 3, but I might actually just cut it down to 2. But that's basically my preference on that there. If you guys have anything else that you want to maybe give an insight towards that, you feel free to go ahead and welcome to do so down below with commenting. We are going to be going with 2 Gozuki, basically just the same thing as Mizuki, but a little bit of a extra plus, which is nice. It's always good to have that as far as the support system goes. So we have basically this all lined up out here for our setups. And then we're going to go in with more support on towards our zombies. So we are going to be starting to go in with the Zombie World support. So the Zombie World support, we are going to be going with 2 Necrowolf Banshee. Why? Because this searches out for your Zombie World to get your combo play set up for your zombies, which is really good. And at the same time, if it's destroyed, neither player can target it with, I'm sorry, if Zombie World is in the field zone, it cannot be destroyed by the card effects, and neither player can also target with the card effects, which is really good too. It's definitely a plus side. I've seen people run 1. It's always good to have the 3, have the 2 actually. If you want to run 3, that's okay. It's a bit cloggy, but definitely no less than 2. Just because of that fact that you can get that other one out for a backup, which is really good if you need it. We also have our Glow Bloom. Why? Because this is actually very good if it gets sent to the graveyard to banish this card from the graveyard and then get a level 5 or higher zombie monster from the deck to the hand. which is perfect for the Jack-o'-Bolin to go ahead and search. And then a zombie world is in the field zone. You can special summon it from the deck instead, which is really good. So it basically sits up for Jack-o'-Bolin, so you don't have to tribute or do anything stupid with it to hard summon it. We're going to be going with one Vampire Farland, only one. It's basically the only vampire that we run. But basically, when a monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from the hand to defense, and then basically you can only use the effects of that once per turn. Once per turn during the battle of an opponent's monster declares out the damage calculation. You could pay life points in multiples to the max of 3,000, and then the monster will basically gain that much of attack during that. So it basically adds itself as a honest. I might actually put Dark Honest in this thing when it comes out too, so that will actually be a nice little bit of a plus. Our hand trap. The only hand trap that we basically run as far as the main deck goes is going to be Ash Blossom. Why? It is a zombie for one, and two, it's literally the best, if not second to the best, hand trap into the game. So you definitely want to go ahead and take that into consideration while you're playing this deck, or while you're making it for that matter. That's it for our monster lineup. Now on towards our spells. It's pretty self-explanatory. We are, of course, going to be definitely going with our zombie world, of course. Most people run 1. Some people run 2. I run 3. Why? It is a zombie world, for crying out loud, and it is easily searchable with the Banshee as well. You could just go ahead and just have it immediate into your hand and play it out right away. Basically makes all the monsters onto the field zombies, and also under the graveyard zombies, so you can start stealing your opponent's stuff because they are now zombies. We have 1 terraforming. Why? It's a free real estate for our zombie world. If we're not able to get it into the hand right away, play out for a terraforming and get it. 1 for 1. Why? It brings out for our bloom. And at the same time, you can go ahead and dump one of your zombies to go ahead and start building up into the graveyard. And then that way you can go ahead and special summon whatever you brought back into there, which is helps. 1 Begun Demon Child, as we would call it in the Team Forbidden, who I'm affiliated with, or we could just call it Call by the Grave, whatever is your preference. This is at 1 now, unfortunately. It should be at 3, but we might end up seeing it maybe even at 2 towards the next ban list. But anyways, this stops their hand traps, which helps out a lot. 1 Instant Fusion for our setup play. You'll see it in a minute in the extra deck, but basically this will bring out for your level 5 fusion and all that when they pay out for the life points by 1,000. 1 Foolish Burial. Why? It is Foolish Burial. It is necessary because this deck needs to get a lot of stuff into the graveyard real quick, and then we can go ahead and set up for our combos. We have 3 Super Poly. Why? Because we were running the Super Package, so we might as well go ahead and run that in there. It's necessary. 2 Book of Life. Now, a lot of people don't really like this card. I personally like it. I enjoy it. Basically, this will target for 1 zombie in the graveyard, and then 1 monster that your opponent controls into the graveyard. You can special summon the first target and banish the second target. This helps out so immensely, especially considering the fact that it is in and of itself a hand trap. This basically takes place of the Call by the Grave in the sense, which helps a lot. And then basically on towards our traps. For our traps, we only have a basic setup. We're only going to be running 1 card. And no, it is not impermanence, as most would think. Instead, it is rivalry with the warlords. Why? Because it is necessary to do so, because each monster must, each player must send a monster stone to the side of the field, so they only control 1 type of face-up monster. And then the monster, as long as this is onto the field, each player can only summon 1 type of monster that's faced up onto the field at a time. This helps out immensely. So pretty much, I mean, I know I have the smaller version of this one, and it's not out into full detail, but basically what it states is that you can only control for 1 type of monster onto the field, and you only summon out 1 at a time. Why? It is a control. It is a controlled deck. There's a lot of things that are running out there that run multiple types, and so we can't have that, so we have to say no to it. On our extra deck, we are going to be going with 3 Vampire Sucker. Why? Because it is one of the best links that you could have in a zombie deck. It literally is. The second thing is that you could tribute to zombie monsters that your opponent controls, even if you don't even control them, which really helps out a lot. And then you could target one monster in the opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your opponent's field in defense, and it becomes a zombie monster. Then, if the monster was special summoned from either graveyard, you draw a card. This is your draw power out for the deck. We have one Borrolow Dragon. It is Borrolow Dragon. What else can I say about that? It is Borrolow Dragon. One Evandred Savior. This is actually really good. You only need to run out for the one. But pretty much your main target out for this is during the damage calculation, you could do a quick effect to send the monster of a zombie from your deck to the graveyard, and then the monster that your opponent controls will lose attack equal to the level of the sent monster times 200. So that actually helps out a lot. As far as our fusion package goes, of course, as I said before, we are going with our super package, so we're going to be going with 1 Starving Venom, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Golem, 1 Millennium Eyes Restrict, 1,000 Eyes Restrict. These are your targets for your instant fusion. Then we are going to be going with 2 Nether Soul. Nether Soul is very, very essential for this deck. It needs to be in there. If you run 1, that's okay. 2 is even more greater. But pretty much it must be fusion summoned to the... it cannot be destroyed by battle with this card. And then at the end of the damage step, if it battles a monster that your opponent controls, the monster will gain 0 attack, and if that monster is still face up onto the field, you could take out for tokens that you can link summon with. And then when summoned, its attack and level become equal to the equal attack and level monsters that your opponent controls. Very good. Or at least for the one monster that's on there. So, but that helps out a lot. As far as our synchro goes, we run a very small setup as far as synchros, and we are going to be going with Necro Dragon, Black Rose, and Sun Saga. It's a very small package, but it helps out immensely. The only reason why they have the Shurui in there is because it helps out a lot, especially when you destroy your monsters equal to the number of cards that were returned, which helps out a lot, since a lot of this deck revives itself. Black Rose for the nuke, and then of course and of course for Necro Dragon, just because it's Necro Dragon, and you can special summon from either graveyard to your field, which helps out immensely for your setup plays as far as a heavy beatdown. And for our side deck, it's very, how would I say? I'd say it's pretty standard. We're going to be going with 3 Ghost Bell with Haunted Mansion. It helps. It's a second to none good hand trap, but it's mainly used out for the side deck, not mainly for the main deck. But you can main it if you want to, and just swap it out with Ash. That always helps. 3 Denko Seka. Why? Because it stops out for the back row, which helps. Especially, well, Dryatron is still kind of a thing, and so is Altergeist and Virtual World, so it'll actually help out against those for the most part. But a lot of people swap it out for something else, and that's just basically your preference. I run 3 Lancia. Lancia helps out a lot, especially with a lot of stuff that triggers out of the graveyard, so you could basically put a stop to that. We have 3 Twin Twister for more back row hate. We don't like a lot of the stuff coming out for the back row. We can't have it. 2 Cosmic Cyclone. It's Cosmic Cyclone. More banishment and spot removal. We always need to have those handy. And then we have 1 Red Reboot. This should definitely be back at 3, if not 2. But whatever Konami decides is whatever Konami decides. We do not have the jurisdiction to go ahead and basically alter the game out. We see it fit. So, but in any case, this helps out a lot. This is your standard set up for a side deck. But if you guys have anything to change out on towards that, feel free to comment and comment down below. You're welcome to do that. It's not necessary that you run it this way, but you know, they expect another update for the zombies in the future. I could definitely tell you that. But that's the deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys want to see more, please go ahead and comment down below for any other ideas that you have, and like and subscribe, and also check out the Instagram for more updates. And I'll see you guys in the next time. Happy gaming.